What's going on, guys? So this is part 2 of the video that I posted of doing the body work and paint work on the roof and re-clearing the hood. So this is a walk around of the outside of the vehicle. So I went ahead and got everything painted. So if you want to see the progress, stick around and you can see how I did this at my house and at my buddy's paint shop. And it took about 2 weeks. I've owned this car for about a month. So I had a lot of body damage, had a lot of paint fade. So now everything's all nicely painted. Got all the door jambs done. The roof is all finished. So I painted in a section because I didn't want to lean over the car. So I painted the roof and re-cleared the hood. And then I worried about the sides and then the bumpers. Just because I don't like leaning over the vehicles and it cuts it in half when you do the roof first. Here's a little walk around. But stay tuned in this video if you want to see how I did this. So I'm going to go ahead and get this fender removed. We have some damage in this corner, and I'm not sure if this is, oh, I guess it's RTV. The reason why I think it's RTV because it feels a little squishy. And if you look here, the guy put RTV. So I guess his daughter rear-ended someone, so it bent the core support, and it messed up the fender, so he put a new bumper on it, kind of spray painted it, tried to blend it. I went ahead and put a carbon hood. I had this hood, it was really faded, so I went ahead and wet sanded, re-cleared it. And then I'm going to go ahead and wet sand it again and re-clear it with 2 more layers of clear. But I'm going to go ahead and get the fenders removed on both sides. This one has damage in this corner. And this one has a dent here, which I can do body work, but I just decided to get 2 new, aftermarket fenders. So I'm going to go ahead and get this all removed. The core support, I got to drill out all the spot welds, but as you can tell, it's a little damaged here. So, and the latch is pushed down. So I'm going to go ahead and get all this replaced. I got a new core support right here. 2 new fenders. So I went ahead and removed the bumper, removed the inner fender liner. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove this headlight assembly and see all the damage. Let's see. Dang, the headlight's like all mangled in here. Let's see. Gotta spread this a little bit. Okay, let's see if we can get this out. Go ahead and do that. Unplug the headlight. Look at all that damage. It's all hammered out, all damaged. They re-welded this tab on, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the crash bar, and I'm going to try to drill out all these spot welds and get the core support off. Went ahead and removed the fender on this side, removed the headlight. You can see where the guy tried to do previous repairs, so I went ahead and straightened this up because it was a little bit bent. I was just drilling out the spot welds over here, pretty much got this piece done. I think I'm going to section it in here because like the aftermarket core supports are very thin. So I didn't want to take, you know, the OEM one off and replace it with the cheap one that is thinner and it won't be able to get jacked up from that spot anymore. So I'm probably going to section it in about right here so I can have the core support bolted with these 2 bolts where the crash bar is. And then this will still be all spot welded in. Got this spot weld drilled out, this one drilled out, this one drilled out. So now I'm going to go ahead and make a cut here and go ahead and remove everything. Then I'm going to get the other core support, make the cut, fit it up. Probably remove this fender here in a moment. And then put both new fenders on. So I went ahead and made the cut. Now it's all nice and straight cut. Now I have 1 tack weld that's holding it on. Now I made 1 cut here at the lower of this hood latch. And then now I'm going to go ahead that I have all the spot welds drilled out here and bent out and it's not connected on top no more. I'm going to go ahead and make the cut here. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done. Because like I said, I want to keep the lower OEM so I can still jack up the car from here and it's really strong. Versus like the aftermarket, it's very thin. So I just put the thinner one up here because it's just like holding the headlights and stuff like that. And then, you know, leave the OEM down here so it could be strong as possible. So I went ahead and made the cut on both sides. So now I'm going to go ahead and remove the core support. There's like 1 more tack weld that I need to get off and then I should be able to remove it. So I went ahead and got it all cut, as you can tell, right here. This is like an aftermarket, so it's a lot thinner. So I didn't want to drill out all the spot welds and have to do it. So I sectioned it in. So now I just got to, most likely I'll weld it, but we'll see. Because the crash bar goes here, so it's going to hold this down. But everything's fitting so far so good. we're about to see. I have to move this a little bit, probably straighten this a little bit more, and then go from there. So now, I'm gonna clean it real quick.
I thought you were gonna use the orbital sander.
Now I want to sand flat so I can make sure that you can find all the dents and stuff. The orbital sander doesn't really do that, you know. This is like making sure it's 100% straight because you're sanding it. Always an X. So I went ahead and de-ate the whole entire door to get the old paint off, and then I put the filler, and now I blocked it all down. Some areas that I haven't got to yet, so we're gonna go ahead and get all them blocked out. Now I'm gonna get the door fully in primer. I ahead and back taped it so I can get it all plastic, got all the holes taped up so we don't get no primer overspray inside the car. Alright, so now I went ahead and got it all masked off. Everything's all taped. Now I just need to wax and grease remove it and do my 2 or 3 coats of primer. And then I'm going to block it out tomorrow, check for dents, and then it'll be ready for a sealer and base coat and clear coat. So now I'm going to go ahead and get the U-Pole high build 4-to-1 high build primer. I'm going to go ahead and get this mixed up. This is kind of like an old primer that I had. It's pretty much everything that I'm using for this car I've already had, such as like the body filler, the sandpaper, the primer, the reducer, and also the paint. So it's a budget paint job, so I'm going to go ahead and get this mixed up, and we'll go ahead and get started on it. This is a 4-to-1, so we're going to go ahead and go to the 4-to-1, and I'm going to go ahead and mix 3 parts primer, and then of course I add the hardener there, and if I want to put reducer I go to the next one. So I am going to reduce this because it is very thick, and my gun will spit out very clumpy if I don't. So I'm going to go ahead and 3, I'm going to put the hardener here, reducer there. So I'm going to go ahead and get this mixed up. So now I went ahead and put some wax and grease remover on the microfiber. So now I'm going to go ahead and wipe down the panel, make sure that there's no greases or oils. I can get this on. So I'm going to go ahead and get all the body work and primer for first, and then once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and do the So I went ahead and got it all in primer, blocked down, checked the bodywork. We had a few little dents, so went ahead and got it all taped up. Now we're gonna go ahead and spray 2K primer and wet sand, and it'll be ready for base coat and clear coat. So pretty much the car is all in primer, ready for paint. All the body works pretty much straight. So now we got to go ahead and wet sand the whole body. Gonna take off the gas door. It's pretty dirty in here. Gonna get it cleaned up. I kind of want to leave it on to paint it, but that's really not the right way to do it. So we're gonna go ahead and remove it, and I'll just mess with the alignment later. So now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm getting all the old glue that was on here because I plan on painting the full entire door, getting all everything off and stripping the door completely, taking out the window track, taking off the speaker bezel. I ahead and got this one stripped down. I'm still not done. I didn't want to remove the windows or anything because I had to put the car outside, but we're pretty much getting ready for paint. So now I'm gonna go ahead and remove all the weather stripping, remove the glass, and I'm over here taking this door apart now. So I went ahead and removed the door panel and the speaker, and now I'm removing all this old glue that's on here and get it all off so that paint can stick to the metal and not. So I went ahead and got the doors removed. Now I went ahead and I'm Scotch Brighting the door jambs red. I'm gonna go ahead and get this trunk removed, but I'm gonna sand it on the vehicle so it gives me a sturdy part to sand. So I'm gonna go ahead and Scotch Brite this whole thing, remove it, and we're gonna probably end up hanging it. So I went ahead and got that door, both doors sanded, prepped. They're on the stands now, so we're gonna go ahead and get the front side and the back side painted at once, so there'll be no tape lines. And I'm also gonna paint behind the door panel because that's just the way I like doing things. I really hate when people paint only like right here where the door panel goes or right at the door panel, because I think that's sloppy when you take it off and it's a different color. Even though this car is blue and it's just going a darker blue. I got the hatch all prepped, sanded, got the fenders all sanded, got the door jambs all sanded, prepped, got all the edges. I didn't want to remove the windows because it's supposed to be a budget paint job. All in there is prepped, just got a mask, same with the rear. There's a few little spots I'm going to hit dry. You can see where the sandpaper didn't get, so tomorrow I'm going to hit it with the Scotch Brite. It's all pretty much prepped and ready to go. So tomorrow I'm going to come in, get the car. We're probably going to put the car here. Going to go ahead and put on jack stands and get this area all cleaned up. And we're going to go ahead and get it painted. So I went ahead and laid the first coat of sealer on the 90 Civic 92 Honda Civic EG. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little walk around. This is the first coat of sealer. I'm deciding if I'm going to do a second coat of sealer. I might, but we'll just see. I'm going to let it dry off, and then I'm going to go ahead and check for areas that I might have missed. But I got the whole back of the door, the whole jam area, and the front sides of both doors all in sealer. What's going on? I know I look crazy, but we pretty much got first coat of sealer down. So I'm going to go ahead and show y'all now. Got the first coat of sealer on all the doors, inside and out. The rear choke, the rear bumper, the front fenders, the door jamb, of course the quarter panel, and the front bumper. This is the clear we will be using, so we heard good reviews about this clear, so we're going to go ahead and give it a try. This is the paint gun we're using. This is the base color, and this is medium reducer from Shopline. This is a Shopline, that's who we bought it from, but it's by pt2. So first time using this clear, by the way, so we'll see how it comes out. So we're going to go ahead and get this mixed up 1-to-1, so it's one part base color and then the rest reducer. So I'm going to go base color 6 and then I'm going to go reducer up there. So. GoPro's at 2%, but I want to get a video real quick. Got it all based. Now about to get it wiped down, and we're gonna get the clear coat on it. So here's the next day. We're gonna let the sun kind of bake the clear a little bit. It is pretty cold still, but there is some sunlight, so we're gonna let it cure. It is gonna need a wet sand and buffing, but other than that, it looks good. Back bumper. We're gonna go ahead and get all this cleaned, all the fender wells, large control arms, upper control arms. Even though we're gonna change it, we still don't want to work with a dirty car. So I'm gonna go ahead and get everything in the greaser. This is a video of all the jams, like the fender jam, and we went ahead and replaced its core support. I got it all painted. So I do plan on K-swapping it, so I'm going to have to pull out the single cam. I'm going to go ahead and paint the engine bay. I'm debating on a color. I'm not sure yet. But everything's lining up really well. I went ahead and got it all. The fenders lined up, got all the bolts painted like it looks OEM. Went ahead and painted the hinges also. So now, the outside looks very good, and the engine bay looks pretty crusty, but we should be able to get it right here soon.